What is the crack with you? Lads, it's late at night, I'm here in the garage tinkering with the car in my element, and I thought I'd better make a video. I know the lighting is terrible, I know it's not probably going to be ideal, but I might as well just show you what I'm doing. I'm after removing the exhaust manifold and the turbo and the exhaust. So I have those off the car at the moment. This is the exhaust I've been using on the car. So I have a decat downpipe that fits into the factory location. All Starlet turbo, obviously. Then I've got this center section from a Starlet GT turbo, and that's standard. That's about, I don't know, 2-inch. And then what I was using from there back was a Toyota Sera exhaust. So that bolted onto the Toyota Starlet one. It wasn't a perfect fit, and this is the bit where it goes out over the back axle. And then I was using a gutted cat as my back box, so it didn't actually muffle the noise at all. So I cobbled together this system. It was only, I mean, it's terrible, very small pea shooter. So I'm making a new exhaust. This one's a lot beefier. It's 2.5-inch, and I got this back box for €10 off a motorbike. It's got a 2.5-inch inlet, which is perfect. I like the outwardly rolled tip. I like that style. It's kind of cool. So I've got a bunch of bends here. These bends, the elbows, I suppose you call them, these are critical. I go down to the scrapyard and I get this stainless for just the scrap price of the metal, and it's absolutely brilliant. I've got some flexies. I've got a couple of these flexies, the right diameter. I have got these flanges, but I've only got one set. I need to get another set, so I better sort that out. I've got some round bar for making the hangers, and I've got a good bit of straight pipe there, 2.5-inch. So what I'm missing basically is a middle silencer to try and bring the noise down, and also I'm missing another one of these. But I got a flange to go onto the downpipe that I have, and actually I have both of them here. I'll be able to show you. So this is the turbo off the Starlet turbo engine. This is the downpipe. I'm just going to refurbish all this stuff. I thought this was a larger diameter. In fact, you know what? It's not far off. It's not far off, to be fair, but it doesn't match up. So we're going to have to do something else here. So I got this for €20 from a Peugeot. I don't know, I don't know what the car is, but I got that for €20. Now I know it's not the best intercooler in the world. It's a lot of plastic in it or whatever. We've got this bit. We've got this bit which I made this from the standard Starlet turbo hot pipe that comes off the turbo. There's my induction kit. And this is the long one that this has been a bit of a journey now, this one to make, and it's crude as fuck, but I tell you, it does the trick. She's strong. I almost like the way it looks. Looks very Mad Max, very steampunk kind of. But yeah, look, obviously I'd prefer if I was able to get a seamless tube all the way, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to clean everything up now, and I'm going to give everything a coat of paint. Oh, another thing I might do is I might grind away at port this a little bit, you see in there. I think that's the only one that really has that restriction. Hang on, I turn the light on. That's better. Yeah, you see that restriction in there? It's pretty serious, like. The rest of them seem okay. So I'll just have to look into that and see how much meat I have there, because that's like a boss for this stud to fit down into. So, I mean, it is going to be hollow in behind there, and I don't want to break through or else my exhaust is useless. So, anyway. Well lads, in my hand I have the cast iron manifold from the Starlet turbo. This was on my Sera. I've taken it off because I wanted to port the manifold basically on these cast manifolds, which came as standard on the Starlet Turbo and Glanza, there's quite a restriction there in that runner. Now I have ground this down with a tungsten carbide bit. It's not perfectly smooth, but I did the best I could with the Dremel that I have. My extension, my flexi extension, I'm missing a bit off it, so I had to just use the normal Dremel. So I couldn't get it all the way. I wish I was able to get the small one. Oh, just noticed a big crack. Oh yeah, sure, we know where that is. That's that one there. So yeah, there's a few cracks on this side of the manifold. I might get in there with the welder and see can I weld them up a little bit. I've never welded cast iron before. I also took off the casting flash on the outside. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever, but I just wanted to do it in there as well. So yeah, because this engine only has 70,000 kilometers on it, so I didn't expect to see any cracking in the manifolds whatsoever. But then again, you just never know with these things. Yeah, I might put a bit of weld on the top of those, see if I can weld them a little bit on the top, just to help keep those cracks together. I don't know if it'll do anything. Maybe it'll just slow down the process. But eventually I will get a turbo kit with, a fully fabricated manifold. But at the moment I'll make do with the cast one. We've got some snapped off studs. I give the top of them a clean up there, and while I have the welder out, I'll see can I get those studs out, and then we'll make a heat shield to go on it, because it could do with a heat shield. But yeah, it's pretty fun, to be honest with you. Like I kind of enjoyed it, but I wish I could have done a better job. You see, the thing is these two studs here kind of protrude into the port. That's why you have that obstruction there in the port. Now, I was reading up online about it, and some fellas were saying, oh yeah, just grind the whole thing away, grind that whole restriction away, so you can put your fingers all the way through there, get rid of the restriction 100%, and you'll break through into the threaded part where this stud screws in, and the exhaust gases won't get past the stud. But I don't know, that seems a little bit extreme to me. Other people that I've been talking to said don't port the manifold at all, because basically the material will get so thin around there, even if you don't break through, that it'll end up cracking anyway. So I don't know, I took a little bit of the restriction away. I didn't go crazy on it. It's definitely a lot better than it was, and I'm hoping I left enough meat just so that doesn't crack on me immediately. But yeah, a job worth doing. Yeah, that's definitely a whole lot better. I mean, it's still not as good as the other ones, but that's as far as I want to take this one. Yup. Right, so here is my downpipe. It's a mild steel aftermarket downpipe. Normally on the Starlet GT, the catalytic converter goes here, and this is essentially deleting the catalytic converter. You have your bung there for putting the O2 sensor in, and that bolts onto the turbo. So the exhaust goes through the turbo and in there, and it comes down there and it exits here. And this is essentially 2¼ inch diameter, which is larger than the factory one. My exhaust though is 2½ inches. It's a 2½ inch exhaust, so it's slightly bigger. Now that's okay, it's not too bad, we can work with that. The problem is I don't have a flange to go on here. Essentially I need another one of these here to bolt onto this, and then onto this flange that I'm going to make, I'm going to put a kind of an adapter to go for it steps it up from 2¼ inch to 2½ inch, and then from there the system comes off. Now I made a little paper template here. I just drew around it. I drew the holes for the bolts to go through, and I used my dirty fingers to create a line going around there, and then I cut it out with the scissors. So now I have my paper template, and I have 6mm steel plate here. I could make this out of 6mm steel, no problem. I can cut the shape out, the outside shape. I can drill these holes, that's no problem. The problem is the inside bit, because I'll be forever trying to cut this out, you know, drilling a lot of holes around and then cutting it out or whatever. And I've come across this problem a few times with the project. Like, I know it's a bit rough now at the moment, but I'm making these top plates out of 3mm steel. Basically, I need to cut out this black ring here in the middle. Again, it's the same problem as this. Kind of difficult to do with basic hand tools. I could do with maybe making this thing from steel and coming back afterwards and making the hole with a little bit of a help from my fabricator friend. So that's where we are at the moment, what I'm doing today. I hope to paint the manifold and the downpipe. I have some heat resistant paint just to clean those up, make it look a bit neater, and we'll put this all back together again, and then we're on to trying to make this exhaust system. But anyway, yeah, sure, that's just a look at what I'm doing at the moment, and I'll update you when I have a bit more on it. There's my new wheels there, my banded steelies. Nothing too extreme, they just about fit under the arches. Yeah, I'll have lots to show you soon. Well lads, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. It's time for me now to go and do a bit of work. It's time for you to get out of my garage, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you soon. Bye bye.